Coach Tony, Wrestling Podium Performance, and today I'm going to be starting a new series on standing on the shoulders of giants. And this is a series where I'm going to be giving some of the top lessons that I've gotten from some of the top people in their respective industries. I'm going to be starting this series out talking about the #1 influence I've had in terms of strength and conditioning, strength training, performance, athletic development, personal training, everything in the gym, as well as a network, and that's the late Strength Sensei, Charles Poliquin. I'm going to start off with the top 5 lessons that I got from him in terms of training specifically. So if you like the type of stuff I'm putting out, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with any questions you may have. So the #1 is the individual matters. Even twins can require completely different requirements in training. Take, for example, you got identical twins who they both do the sport of track and field. One does long jump, one does triple jump. Or one does hurdles and one is just a flat sprinter. They're going to have different demands. They're going to require different training programs in terms of both what they're doing on the track, but also what they're doing in the weight room with me. The reason for that is what they do performance-wise is going to require slightly different things. Yes, they both run and bounce, but how they're doing that, the amortization period is going to be different. Now let's move that into a different sport, soccer, or as the rest of the world calls it, football. You got one twin who might be a goalkeeper and another one who might be a striker. Well, the goalkeeper is going to have completely different training demands and requirements than the striker. The striker is going to have to be a lot faster. They're going to have to cut a little bit more. They're going to have to be able to absorb different things. Whereas the keeper is going to have to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more, not so much reactive strength explosive, but they're going to have to be able to go from here to jumping and touching the crossbar at either corner. So they're going to have different demands. Now, bring that into the personal training world, and each individual person, if we were to do a research study, they are N equals 1. There's only one of them. So if I've got a 65-year-old executive who's near retirement, they're going to have completely different demands from a 34-year-old morbidly obese person who's never been in the gym in their life and has to lose 150 pounds. Whereas that executive, they've stayed fit their entire life, but they're not able to do what they were able to do when they were 20 anymore because, let's face it, they're 65, but they can still do a lot of the same things. So the individual matters. So individualization of the training program matters. And that's why assessments and consultation intakes matter so much. So this leads us directly into #2. There is only one true priority. So someone can have multiple goals, but at the end of the day, they only have one goal. They only have one real thing that they want. That is a priority. You can take this right into what some align with biosignature and bioprint, metabolic analytics, where it looks at whether it's a testosterone estrogen issue or an insulin issue. At the end of the day, both of those are going to be an issue with a lot of people. But the supplementation protocols for those are going to be a little bit different, focusing on it. Yes, it gets some rightful criticism in terms of pushing supplements, but at the same time, if you follow the plan to a T, you're going to get a result. So while yes, it's pushing product, at the same time, it's working. That's why you can only focus on one real priority at a time, whether it's improving body composition. Yes, as a byproduct, the person's going to get stronger, they're going to get leaner, they're going to feel better about themselves. But they're losing the body fat, which was the #1 priority to happen. And losing that body fat is going to also have the other secondary results of, oh, I look better, I feel better, my blood sugars are better, my cortisol is better, I'm less stressed, I feel more confident. When I walk into work, I look and I feel better. I'm not shy in my cubicle anymore. I'm not afraid to go out in public anymore. For women, we're in the summer now, women and men. Oh, for women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, when they lose some body fat, oh, I feel better going to the beach now. For men, oh, I can take my shirt off in public again. I don't feel self-conscious about that. So while that wasn't the #1 priority for them, that's a secondary massive benefit to them, and it's a win. So if you notice, the first one led directly into the second one. Now the next few of these are kind of going to go in sequence and kind of compound on one another. So the number 3 lesson is the Bruce Lee principle. Now, what is the Bruce Lee principle? That is that learn from lots of people, but take what works. Try out lots of things, but take what works for what you're doing, and then make it your own in a way. For example, like I come from a track and field background. I can take what works from there and apply it to every field sport there is. Doesn't matter what the field sport is, I can apply it there. Now, can I apply it directly to hockey and figure skating? No. But indirectly, the benefits that they get there, leg strength, plyometric ability, is still going to have some carryover there. It's going to be different, but it's still going to work. Taking lessons from powerlifting and applying them to sport is also going to work. Same with bodybuilding to sport, or bodybuilding to powerlifting, powerlifting to there, or to general fitness. They're all going to circle around and work. But I'm not going to necessarily take going and jumping on a BOSU ball like some people like to do even here in the city, because that puts somebody at unnecessary risk for an injury. So I'll take maybe something they're talking about as good, but I'm going to leave this other piece behind because I don't think it works. I don't see that it works, and the risk-reward criteria is just not there. And this leads us directly into the 4th lesson. Now, the 3rd one leads us directly into the 4th lesson. Success leaves clues. So what do I mean by success leaves clues? It's take a look at where people are going and constantly getting success. We can see this even in sport. The Boston Celtics throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, constant perennial contenders. The 90s, you had the Chicago Bulls. Early 2000s, the LA Lakers. Throughout the 2010s, you had anywhere LeBron James was, or the Golden State Warriors. You take a look at that. What is it that they're doing that's leading to success? You can go back, you can look at every sport, you can take a look at tennis, golf. Tiger Woods, what was he doing? Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal. What are they doing that's making them so successful? What was Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes doing that was making them so successful? These are just high-profile sport examples. But we can also look at that from the coaching side. What is this coach doing where they're just banging it out of the park? It's just banger after banger. Everyone that goes there seems to have success after. And then you take a look at some where they've got a great business going, they've got thousands of people coming in the door, but it's like it's been titrated where there's only 1 or 2 true success stories. Which one is truly successful? The one with a smaller operation where they're constantly getting extremely good results, or the 1 or 2 out of a massive number? Business-wise, this is success leaves clues because they got a shitload of people. Mastery of the craft, this person just knocking it out is getting it. Yes, you're also going to take a look at how they're getting those results, how they're getting that success. Are they piggybacking on somebody else's success and running with it from there? Or are they doing something unique? And it's like, what is that thing that they're doing? What is it that's setting them apart? What are they doing differently that's making the people they're working with achieve so much more? Now, there are cases where certain sports athletes, when they sign with a company, they can only go and work with certain people, both at times to their benefit, but to their detriment, because now you're siloed in, and say Adidas or Nike says you can only go work with this person in this location and these people. Oh, now you have to leave someone you've got a relationship with and you've done well with, go to a completely different system, and it could go one of 2 ways. You could have success, you can have failure. These are all lessons to learn. That's where the success leaves clues. And then number 5, the 5th big lesson is mastery of the basics and continuous learning and experimentation. Now, I consider this one lesson because in order for you to master the basics, you have to experiment. You have to learn. Whether it's mastering the squat, getting your ass to your heels, whether it's a high bar, low bar, safety squat bar, cambered bar, overhead squat, front squat, you're doing Hatfield style squats, we're doing powerlifting style, we're doing wide we're doing wide stance, narrow stance, heel elevated, Olympic style. We're doing overhead squat with a snatch grip. We're doing push jerks, but a squat jerk. All of these require mastering of the absolute basic movement that's underlying all of it, the squat. If you don't master the squat, you can't master the others. And then it goes for, if you're trying to become extremely good at like the press, like bench press, you got to master that. Now, whether you're going wide, biochromial, neutral, reverse grip, all of these require experimentation to find what's going to work for the individual. Going back to lesson 1, what's going to work for that single priority. If they're a power lifter and the thing holding them back is the bench press, well, we have to see what is it that's holding them back on their bench press. Lesson number 1. The priority is bench press right now. Lesson number 2. And then it's, okay, what's going to work and what isn't going to work with this person? Lesson number 3. And then what are other people doing that's improved their bench press? Success leaves clues. Number 4. Which brings us into number 5. See how all of these lessons tie in together. And now, here's a bonus. Here's something that Charles whispered in somebody's ear that they didn't really like and kind of led them to be a little spiteful about it. But it was something I find funny because it's very true. The number 1 way to actually get stronger, the secret to getting stronger, here it is. The true secret to getting stronger is put some fucking weight on the bar. And those are some of the top lessons that I got from the late Strength Sensei, Charles Poliquin. I'm going to do a follow-up to this video where I'm going to talk about the lessons others have gotten from him. If they send me a video of them saying it, I'll just include their video with that. Other than that, Coach Tony, Wrestling Podium Performance, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with any questions or things that you personally learned from Charles. And go embrace your potential.